I was going to let this one go. This Jeff Hardy comes down with this horrible disease. And before I say what I have to say, let me say best wishes for health and recovery for Jeff Hardy, sincerely. His health is obviously important to him and to his family and to his fan base. And Jeff, from a man to man, I wish you the best of recovery. That being said, I mean, God, if you haven't given up the ghost of WWE by now, after this situation where, 7 days ago, Karrion Kross debuts on Raw, sans Scarlet Bordeaux, sans his entrance, and gets squashed, humiliated, destroyed, defeated, pinned in less than 2 minutes by an aged Jeff Hardy. Not aging, but aged. I don't know what to tell you if you're going to watch Monday Night Raw tonight. There's no validation, there's no justification for the atrocity that was put upon Karrion Kross. If you've been watching NXT for 2 years and familiar with this gentleman and his bride, Scarlet Bordeaux, and you're a big fan, how can you justify watching Monday Night Raw tonight? You just saw your hero pinned, humiliated, destroyed. He goes to NXT, where he's the champion, by the way, and the fans are chanting Hardy, Hardy, Hardy to mock him. Not out of support that Hardy has this disease now, this condition that might ruin his life. Maybe he'll never wrestle again. Who knows? Maybe he will. But the fans are chanting Hardy, a chant that will ring throughout Karrion Kross's remainder of his career. No matter where he goes, the independents, Japan, the fans in Japan will be saying, Hardy, Hardy. They will be mocking Karrion Kross. They will be humiliating Karrion Kross. They will be degrading Karrion Kross. All because of those idiots in Titan Tower. And who's the chief VIP king of idiots? Junior McMahon, the same gentleman that took a knife and he stabbed in the back with the same knife that his father made their solemn promise, hand cuts, the handshake of gentlemen. They used to take a knife in those back rooms of the boardrooms of the old wrestling promotions, and they would cut their palms and shake hands like gentlemen, that they would not screw with each other's territories. And Vince Jr. didn't earn, but inherited that knife for that handshake. And instead of using it to cut his palm, he stabbed all the other promoters in the back. So that same Junior basically said, why don't we do something different, pal? Let's have Karrion lose. And all the heads in the room twisted. Vince, you sure about that? Well, yeah, I think so. Let's have him lose in less than 2 minutes. Let's have him get squashed by. And they're thinking, who could it be? Drew McIntyre? Bobby Lashley? What could he be thinking? What would possibly make sense for Karrion Kross to get squashed in his debut? And the answer was Jeff Hardy. The same gentleman who relinquished the TNA supposedly world title 10 years ago or so to Sting when he was affected, by the materials that he put in his own body. I didn't do that. He did. And that's your fucking hero, not mine. And this is who you're going to have squash Karrion Kross on worldwide television on the flagship show, Monday Night Raw. I mean, we've gone from Damien Demento and The Undertaker to this. So you tell me, Karrion Kross fans, you fucking tell me, you explain to me how you can justify watching this program. Explain it. I'd like to hear your explanation. And I know there's some Karrion Kross fans out there because I understand what you're saying. And look, now if you want to get real hardcore personal, is it Karrion Kross's fault? Well, he did what he was told, right? He did what they told him to do. He was a good worker. He was put in a tough spot. He comes up to Monday Night Raw with all this ballyhoo and hype. He's the NXT defending champion. And is he really supposed to rock the boat? Is he really supposed to say on his very first day on the job, hey, Junior, I don't think this is a good idea. The fans have invested a lot of time into me as a defending NXT champion and having me humiliated and degraded and squashed on Monday Night Raw. Maybe that's not good for NXT, which, by the way, Junior, you own as well. It is under your, belt of ownership. You own NXT. I'm the NXT champion. I'm representing you in a sense, idiot. Maybe Karrion Kross could have said that. Maybe he just was a good worker who did what he was told. And that's what all the McMeat puppets are. They're good workers who do what they're told. If they're told to have a good match, they have a good match. If they're told to get squashed in 2 minutes or less, they get squashed in 2 minutes or less. But are these the type of people that you want to cheer for? Are these the type of people that you put your money into and you put your time, most importantly, into? I'm going to go watch a program full of meat puppets. And the guy who controls the strings has delusional thinking, probably due to age. That's what you're doing. I'm not doing that. That's what you are doing on a weekly basis. You're watching a program run by a man who's probably having aging issues, and they're booking the show in a way that degrades the performers of which they showcase. And you're watching that. You're investing your time into that. I'm not. So I don't know what else to fucking tell you. The response will be something, well, AEW ... Well, you don't have to watch AEW either. You can watch old-time wrestling. You can watch even the WWF. Plenty of shows online that you can find. Good wrestling shows. You can watch the Wrestling Classic 1985. Do you know what that is, idiot? It's the first pay-per-view ever, asshole, that you could get in your own home for wrestling. The Wrestling Classic. How many of you sat there and watched it? How many? Answer me. You can watch Starrcade 83 for the first time in your life and see what a real wrestling show is like. You could do that. You could go on Amazon Prime and find the old Detroit territory. Terry Funk in his prime, young Terry Funk. You could do all these wonderful things as a pro wrestling fan. You could get online and find yourself a nice tape distributor and find some great wrestling that you've never seen before and educate yourself on how real professional wrestling is supposed to be booked, produced, and distributed. You could do that. However, you're lazy. And you'll sit on your fucking ass and you'll watch Monday Night Raw like an idiot. You'll do that. I won't. I'll be doing something better with my time. So for all the McMeat puppet marks who continually support this company and continually have your little wrestling hearts broken when NXT guy after NXT guy is misused, abused, mistreated, degraded, humiliated, and you scratch your fucking thumb and you stick your own dick in your own fucking ass and you wonder, gee whiz, why do they do it to this guy? Why do they do it to this guy? Why do they do it to this guy? It's because you watched it. You allowed it to happen by watching the program. It's your fault. It's your fault that this company continues to break your heart and humiliate you as a fan because you continue to tune in week after fucking week. If you educate yourself on how real wrestling's supposed to be booked, Ron Simmons Day is coming up. Do you know what that is? Do you, asshole? August 2nd, 1992. Ron Simmons pins Vader in Baltimore for the WCW World Heavyweight title. Are you educated on that angle? Do you know that Rick Rude, Mick Foley, Jake the Snake Roberts, Sting were all involved in that angle to get Ron Simmons the world title? Not that they interfered on his behalf, but the angle I'm speaking of. Do you know your goddamn wrestling history? A couple of days ago was Flair Funk Day, 1989, July 23rd. Did you celebrate Flair Funk Day? Did you watch the Great American Bash yearly on that day to celebrate? Did you, asshole? Did you celebrate July 10th, Sting versus Flair Day? Did you do these things? If not, and you just sat on your fucking dick and watched Monday Night Raw and watched this degradation of Karrion Kross to Jeff Hardy, as I've stated, you are part of the problem. Hashtag Raw Protest is the solution. There's plenty of options for you as a pro wrestling fan. You have no excuse. You have no excuse to watch this god-awful shit show of a fucking wrestling meat product when there's so many wonderful options in the world. I want those ratings in the goddamn toilet. I want you to liberate yourself. And I want you to not watch and not give a fuck about WWE Raw. In the name of the late, great NXT World Champion Karrion Kross, you are prohibited from watching Monday Night Raw tonight. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. I'll solve all your fucking wrestling problems.